Welcome to Rauta, welcome to Steelfest 2025. This time I have an exotic band from Singapore, and we're not talking about some new band off the block. We're going all the way old school. So here we have the man of the hour. Sir, please state your name and status in the band.
All right, so I'm Shyaithan and I'm from Mighty Impiety. We were formed in 1990, and ever since, we've been playing and touring, releasing albums, etc. for 35 years now.
Now, 35 years is a long time of making extreme metal music. Obviously, a lot of things have changed since the 90s and all. How do you feel now in hindsight? How has the journey been so far?
Well, from the beginning till today, definitely, it has been a lot of challenges from the underground, and then releasing the first single to the first album, and then working with different labels. Everything has been challenging, but positive, because Impiety is a band that always perseveres. We work hard, and we believe the fans know it best, and they appreciate the albums we put out. That's most important. So at the end of the day, it's not about the numbers or how big the band gets, but the appreciation from the underground fans. That's the most important factor when it comes to Impiety.
Now, your style of music is very aggressive. It's somewhat chaotic. It's a kind of a combination of, should I say, black metal, death metal, thrash metal, and beyond.
Yeah.
That would be roughly their estimate. But how would you describe if someone was asking, so what is Impiety of?
So definitely black and death metal. There have been elements of black metal that have inspired me. I grew up in an era of Hellhammer, Bathory, Venom, and all these bands played an important part in influencing me. So definitely, and then you had the wave of Norwegian bands, but prior to that, you also had South American bands, aggressive bands like Sarcophago, etc. And they changed everything about Impiety, and we have stuck with that since. And in terms of, you were asking about progression of the scene, am I right to say that? Okay, definitely. Today, we see more and more bands that experiment or play cross genres, So there's also post-black metal, etc., industrial black metal. But at the end of the day, it's all about the message. And I think that's really important, The theme of black metal, to keep it dangerous, to keep it hateful. That's what I stand for as well.
35 years is a long time already in terms of like even European standards. I mean, back in 1990, barely no Norwegian black metal existed.
Yeah.
It was very, very early on for things to happen. But even further we go, and when we go to Asia, and we realize that must have been even less amount of bands coming from place where you are from. So you are kind of a pioneering the whole Asian thing with the extreme metal. How did you get it started? You mentioned Sarcophago and all that stuff coming from a little bit later, 80s.
Yeah, exactly. So back in the day, definitely you had fanzines. Everybody had to write with each other. We were into tape trading, demo tapes. I was writing bands from Grotesque to Nihilist, Pre and Tomb, to ordering demo tapes from, for example, Morbid Angel, getting the Possessed demo tape, Immolation directly from them, demo tapes.
So USA, Sweden, all that stuff?
Exactly. So this was the first generation, including Finland. I was so close to Beheaded. We were calling each other up every weekend.
Wow.
And mind you, I was in high school. And the enthusiasm and we were just so passionate about black and death metal, So one thing led to another, and then came Blasphemy, and I think the circle was pretty much complete. And then you had a lot of bands emerged from that era. You had Goat Penis, Necro Butcher, for example. All great guys, etc. So definitely from there, I would say the scene began to grow, and as I told you, we didn't have the internet.
Yeah, of course.
So everybody was either writing each other, giving phone numbers, and we were calling each other through the payphone, using a international calling card, and exactly. So we were getting a lot closer than today, where you send an email out, and you barely get a reply.
Exactly.
From some label or fanzine, So I guess the proximity was more personal back in the day, when you exchange demo tapes. I replied to Xerox fanzines, etc. I was writing Disgrace, Black Crucifixion from Impale Nazarene. Mika sent me all these nude photos,
Wow, cool.
So, man, it was so nostalgic, when I think back again, about all these times. No substitution with today, with technology. Perhaps you have better records. Things are done faster now.
Yeah.
And you have more quality. At the same time, there's too much quantity, and that destroys everything, because I think black metal is meant to always be limited, rather than too many of these bands which put out superficial riffs, and you can tell it's always a copy of that album from this band, and etc. Originality lacks in today's music. Is what I find.
Do you think
and I find they use a lot of editing. Exactly. You don't need to go to a rehearsal room today. You can record every fucking thing online.
Yeah, on your phone, on your tablet, laptop.
Yeah, so many programs now. Etc. etc. So it's, in a way, it's good and bad. But personally, for me, growing up in the first and second generation, it's more bad.
Now, I'm very, very interested. Are you? How much you are in touch with these guys? You mentioned Impale Nazarene, Black Crucifixion, Morbid Angel, and etc.
Yeah.
How much are you in touch these days to the generation that was?
To be honest with you, I'm pretty much surprised, because when Impiety plays festivals, etc., I have people from the first generation come up to me and said, "Hey, remember we did a tape trade a long time ago?"
Yeah.
So I feel completely honored. But bands today like Possess, maybe when I was in Brazil, Sarcophago, Wagner Antichrist came to the show. It was a big salute, because I used to call him up. We used to do a trade of vinyl records with guitar strings, because back in the early 90s, guitar strings, Ernie Ball in particular, was pretty expensive in Brazil. So I was buying guitar strings, shipping it to Brazil, and getting like maybe 7-8 records from Wagner Antichrist.
That's
from
great.
Sarcophago. So I was like, this is so weird, but at the same time it was great for me, because it's hard to find Brazilian records from Cogumelo, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so in that sense, I mean, so many people, so many bands all the time. I have perhaps the guys from Watain. They're really close brothers. Eric is such a nice guy.
Yeah, true.
He did one of the cover artwork for Impiety back in the day.
Nice.
When we recorded in Sweden, Impiety recorded the third album at Brno Studios. He spent a week with Impiety in Brno.
That's great.
Yeah, so
that's truly like the international camaraderie.
Alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and camaraderie. Exactly. You put it perfectly. So the thing is, I appreciate all these guys. Including Necro Butcher from Mayhem, Attila from Mayhem. These are like really, really solid guys. The Ashgold brothers.
Yeah.
These are people, I really appreciate Laurie from Satanic War Master, big fan, covers Impiety songs. I feel fucking honored,
And
man.
now you're already very connected because, as you know, you saw the Archgold guys here, Laurie from Satanic War Master is here, you are here.
Yeah, including
so
Russ from Apsu.
Too.
He came twice to our shows in America, you know. So we did a big tour in Europe under, I think it was, I can't remember which agency, but we played maybe 12 shows together.
Yeah.
As main support for Apsu, and Russ is such a solid guy.
Yeah, very, very nice person too.
Yeah, we played twice in USA on tours, and he was always at the shows. The guys from Incantation, John McEntee.
Yeah.
What a true brother, man. You know,
That's so great to hear.
So you know, small things like this. At the end of the day, it's all about.
It's heartwarming.
Yeah, the brotherhood, the friendship.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter how big you get, a band or. You know. At the end of the day, it's always about the recognition that you are a friend.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So the basics.
And I guess this wasn't so obvious back in, say, 1990 that you're gonna meet these brothers in real life and tour with them.
Exactly. So from a high school kid till college, and then I was in the army. Of course, then working, etc., and always playing full time. Other stuff was always secondary, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like Possess, always on my WhatsApp. Jeff Becerra. If I don't reply him, he gets irritated. Hey, what's going on?
Okay.
So as I told you, you know, Jerry from Black Winds, for example, I've been so busy with work, and he's always passing messages to my friends. Get Shyaithan to contact me now. And you know, man, I salute all these guys. You know.
I totally get it because,
I salute all this.
for example, I had the pleasure of actually interviewing Blasphemy, Jerry. Last year here, I had the pleasure of talking to Jeff of Possessed 2 years ago, and you know, getting to know all these legends and going much like with you, going all the back in the years kind of a thing is very, very interesting because nowadays kids don't realize that before the internet things, you actually had to write these letters and wait for the mail to come home, and you would never know if you would meet the person in question. So
exactly. But one thing good about Singapore, right, which perhaps a lot of people don't realize, is that from the mid 80s, we had all the records from Noise International, Steam Hammer, and then later on Under One Flag, New Renaissance Records. So just imagine, I was in high school and I picked out Bathory from the store.
Wow.
In fucking Singapore.
That's crazy. Because it sounds like we couldn't even imagine as European, like, okay, you could find these albums in Singapore.
Yeah, so if it's a week out in Europe, I mean, if it's out in Europe, a week later it's in Singapore. So that was really, really cool because for the kids back in Asia, including Malaysian guys, Indonesian guys, they would come to Singapore just to pick out all these records, you know, Creator, Flag of Hate, Destruction, Sodom.
But who made it happen then?
Sepultura, you know, etc., etc., etc. So I think good distribution.
But who made it happen there back in the days?
For the distribution of the records?
Yeah, like in Singapore?
I think I salute all the record stores. We had Dada Records, we had, it's strange, it's a Chinese music record store, but they took a chance on rock and metal because they saw, hey, a lot of kids like all the heavy stuff, you know? Satan, you know, war and metal.
Check.
Exactly. I picked out Death, I picked out so many things, man. You would never imagine for an Asian guy to buy original from a store.
Yeah, that's what I was, because I remember when I was like, I mean, I got into metal in the early 80s.
Yeah.
But it was just about, you know, the bands like Wasp or Mötley Crüe and Iron Maiden and shit like that.
Exactly.
You know, the big ones. And then when the 90s came, you know, the early 90s, suddenly you found like, oh, death metal, black metal, thrash metal, and everything's like, wow.
Yeah.
But it was easier because we were in Finland, you know, like it was a little bit different. So, so going back to Singapore thing, when did you realize you guys are being the pioneers of Asian extreme metal? When did you realize, like, hey, we are actually doing the big thing here, much as like Mayhem was doing in Norway or
Okay.
all that stuff.
Yeah. So when it comes to like pioneers, right? Definitely. You know, I had good brothers in Naptamaron, good brothers in Abhorror. Now these were the first generation guys.
Yeah.
But sadly, these guys tried their best. It wasn't easy. They tried to continue, but it was really, really hard, you know. Because likewise, when Impiety started out, you know, when you start a band, definitely you're gonna have guys who leave the band. You're gonna have family issues.
Yeah.
Because no civilized family will think, I want my son to be a fucking Satanist, you know.
Yeah, like, hey, I want you to play satanic extreme metal.
Etc., etc., etc. So I think we continued where Abhorror left off, and we pushed through and smashed all boundaries. So for me, it was like, fuck everything. I'm gonna do this for life. You know, I already set my path straight.
Yeah.
So everything else was secondary. That is why, when it comes to Impiety, there's always no compromise.
Yeah.
When it comes to the lyrics. Now, let me tell you something personal. I had a lot of trouble, for example, with one of the record labels because my fuck off list involved sensitive, you know, sensitive issues with politics.
Yeah.
We are not a nationalistic band, but I will speak my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy who just speaks fantasy.
Yeah.
I always relate reality.
Yep.
And in the political world which we live in, it shapes everything. We stand for, we wake up.
We've seen it very much here.
We slog for our families, we pay our fucking bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you notice very carefully, the political system is always set to keep you at a certain level.
Yeah, of course.
You know? So the rich get richer.
Yeah.
But
the
the
poor
middle
get poorer. Or at least the same level.
Exactly. You
so
know,
it's about control.
Exactly. So you know, I speak my mind. I got in trouble with a lot of, I won't say a lot, but I would say 2 record labels because I went ballistic on a certain fucking group of people and their ideology, etc., etc., etc. So for me, it's like I speak my mind, brother. You know, there's nothing to hide, and
yeah, but why would you? Why would you?
Impiety. One thing about Impiety is we have no censorship. Whether you like it or not, you want to call us right wing or whatever, you want to brand us, that's fucking up to you.
Yeah.
But we speak whatever history relates.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to hide the truth from you.
Yeah.
You know.
What inspires you these days to do more Impiety? Or Impiety?
I think Impiety has explored. We have done a lot. We've pushed boundaries. You know, and I think right now I have the new album, which we are actually in process of recording. So I'm just focused on that right now. I've kept it very close to where we left off from the last few releases, you know, and not too much on the progressive side, but perhaps I've kept it more down to earth, and the brutality is plentiful. So still pretty much very extreme. So I'm looking forward to releasing that, and yeah. So we'll take it from that release. It will be the 10th album of Impiety.
Okay.
Now this is one reason why I do not wish to rush albums.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been asking me, hey Shyaithan, we need the new album, etc., etc. But I said to them, take it easy, you know. We want to do a good one as well, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly, you know. So in good time, I think in 5-6 months we should have it out.
What is the future for Impiety? More live or more music going recorded?
No, I mean Impiety is built for the stage. You know, we've played, I don't know, 400 over shows in our career. Too many countries.
I guess that's a blessing in a way.
Yes, definitely. You know, because we meet fans from all walks of life. It's really great. Just an honor, you know, meeting all these people and having good conversations with them. So it's more not just about the music, but about knowing the individual behind. I mean, the person who buys the album in the end, you know. So it's not, as I told you, man. It's more about the hell hordes, the community, rather than fucking CD sales. How many thousand copies you sell? How big you get? Which festivals you headline? Blah blah blah. Fuck that shit, you know. We don't care. Music is eternal in general. So many bands have come and gone. Their legacy is their legacy, you know.
True.
Fans know it, you know. And it's a testament to time in the end, you know.
Before we get into the last few fast questions,
Yeah.
before we get into that, there's now, let's say, a few new fans who are like, okay, I like this band and I like this person. What should I start with? What should be the starting point for a new Impiety fan to go with?
A starting point definitely would be the second album, Skull Fucking Armageddon.
See?
Yeah. That's a rare shirt from Iron Pegasus Records. They released that in 2000.
Yeah. So that should be the starting point.
I think Skull Fucking Armageddon, the songs for that album encompasses both black and death.
Yeah.
Perfectly, you know. So there's a very good combination, and then also thrash elements in that album. And then we took it up a notch with Chaos Command, and then Paramount Evil. We had Formidoni's Next Cultus, Terror Reign, and then let me see. Yes, the seventh album is the Seventh Tyranny. Yeah. Perhaps I forgot the title, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. What I mean to say is they should start with Skull Fucking Armageddon.
Okay, that could be a starting point. Okay, now let's get a couple of fast final questions.
Okay.
Favorite band of all time?
I would say Bathory for me, personally, yes.
Favorite album of all time?
I would say Under the Sign of the Black Mark.
Favorite city of all time?
Favorite city? CD.
City.
Oh, city. Okay. Favorite city? Wow, that's a good one, man. I would say favorite city. That's a very tough one.
I know. Someone with good memories and all.
Too many, man.
Don't overthink it. Just say something which left you a good mark.
That's really hard, man. It's a really tough question. Can I not answer this one?
Okay, let's keep it.
Too many good cities out there. You know, too many good cities out there.
Place you would like to be buried in when you die?
Yeah, Singapore, man.
Okay. And one festival you haven't been yet, but you would would like to be?
I would like to see Maryland Death Fest. You know, I've been to many festivals in Europe, and maybe that one.
All right.
Yep.
So people at Maryland Death Fest, take note, and the rest of the audience right there, make notes of what he just said. Start with Skull Fucking Armageddon and dive deep into the chaotic, wild, blasphemous, violent, aggressive world of extreme metal coming from Singapore. It's not exactly something that you encounter every day. And when you see these guys on stage, you probably will feel the energy flowing and all that stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation, and links are provided to their music and website and all. So click, start listening, and when you like it, go buy it. This is Rauta, this is Steelfest 2025, this is Impiety, and thank you, sir, for this conversation.
All right.
I hope our paths will cross again. And meanwhile, you people, what are you waiting for? Start listening to the music and stay metal.
Praise Hail Satan.